Inkproducts.com has now released its new XL ink cube refill system. I'm going to show you how to install it, and we're going to install it on the IP8720, a Canon IP8720. Very easy to install. This is an awesome printer. It does up to 13 by 19. It comes with a tray to print on CDs and DVDs. You're going to get printed instructions with color photos. It's going to guide you right through it. This video is going to help you install it also. So what I did, turned the printer on, I brought it over, and then I unplugged it so I can take out the print head and install the new gaskets. See, these are the old Canon gaskets. You want to take them out. One thing about Canon that we really like, if you lift the lever, you take the print head out. It's not like the Epson where it's in that printer and once it goes bad, you're stuck with it. So you can lift that right up. Got to bring it in the right position. You're going to lift it up, and then you'll be able to reach in there and get the print head out. But before we do that, let's go over here to our ink system. Now you're going to get the latest ink cube. This is the latest in ink tanks to feed ink to the cartridges. You're going to get COC smart chips. You're going to get all the parts and pieces. You'll get an ink shut-off to shut off the ink when you have to take the cartridges out so that the ink does not leak all over. Now when you first get it, I always lay it down. It gives it time to equalize. It's got to equalize. It's got an isobaric chamber. It's got a lot of features in this. A lot. Now you see the little plugs in the back? You never take them out. There's a reason for them. So you're going to leave them right there. We even tell you. The only ones you're going to open up are the little air plugs here. We're not going to do that yet till after we get the cartridges in. Now the tank sits right next to the printer. Exactly. Just like this, right next to the printer. Don't lift it higher and don't drop it down lower. When you get the system, it's all pre-primed, ready to go. Now I'll show you how to take out the print head. Remember, it's got to be in the right position. Otherwise, that won't be held up. So then once I do that, print head comes right out. Now what's good about this print head, you can take it and you can rinse it out, wash it out, you can replace it. That's what makes the Canons so good. Now we're going to go and show you how to take these gaskets out. It's fairly simple, and then we'll put the other gaskets in. Almost out. I use a pair of needle nose. I just get in there, I grab it, I pick it up. Now there's a certain way you have to put the gaskets in. If you notice here, let me bring this over. One side is longer than the other. That goes towards the back of the print head. Let's take it out. That's it. Now we're going to give you a package of our print head gaskets. You're going to put them in. They're better when using the ink tank system. Much better. I've got them in now. I'll show you. See, it's two sides. You want the long side to go forward like that. Same thing on the large black. That's going to go forward. You're just going to set them down in there. Now there again, follow the instructions. Always follow the printed instructions. Sometimes videos are behind. We change things. So you always want to look at the printed instructions. That's it. That's how quick it was to put the gaskets on. Now you want to save these. Should you ever have to send the printer back or the print head back for Canon to replace it, you definitely want to put them in there. Now we're going to go over and we're going to put the print head in. It just sets down there and locks down there. That's how quick it was. Now I can look. Shut that. That's it. Now we'll get ready to put the ink system cartridges in. Now they come with the orange clips. Save those. You might need them. You might have to put it back on. Now we run a piece of tape along the bottom. That's so you can take all the orange clips off at one time. You don't have to do individual. Of course, we put rubber bands to keep everything together. Okay, now I'm going to put some paper towel down here, and I'm wearing a pair of rubber gloves. Now, we also supply them in a kit. You'll get these little rubber gloves, just so you don't, in case you got ink on your hands. Okay? Paper towel down. I also have another piece of paper towel, just in case there's any, if any ink wants to dribble, I like to wipe it up before putting it in. Now over here is the ink shutoff. You only use this when you're taking the cartridges out or when you're putting them in. So I'm going to lock it off. That helps so the ink can't flow to the cartridges. Now I'll be able to put them in as one whole assembly. What I'm going to do is unlock the clips first. Then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to put it in. But I will just take your time. You're just going to unlock them. They unlock from the front. Just put them down and then unlock them. Now I'm going to pick them up in one hand, just flip them over and put them in. I'm going to flip them over and put them in. See, there was a little drop of ink. That's why I always have the paper napkin and I wear little rubber gloves. And I flip them up and I'm just going to set them down in there. Now here's where you got to take your time. You want to make sure they go in the correct color, and you want the front to go in first, then seated. If the front goes in and pops up, let me tell you, that could be a nightmare. You don't want to do that. I mean, you can get it out, but it just takes you too long. So just take your time. You don't have to rush. We've got the ink shut off. I got any extra ink that would have dribbled all over. Okay, once I know, I push in, then when I know it's in, see the way it clipped in? See? I push in, I know it's locked in there, see? There, now I locked it in. Now we'll do hose travel. And we'll put on the hose, the main hose bracket, which is this bracket here. Now I made a little mark here, because I've had this in and out of the printer. At 3.5 inches, I center the hose clip, just like that. I peel and stick it. Then there's going to be another one that I'm going to stick right here. So after I peel and stick this, then we'll do hose travel. Put that in. Peel and I stick it right there. Now remember, I got another one here, and I still have one more to go. That's going to go on the outside, right next to the case here, to hold the hose for me. Okay, now I'm going to push it all the way over to the left. All the way. I want to point this out. I forgot to point this out. We give you a piece of felt here that sticks on. So if the hose rubs there, it's not going to, cause any problems. Now, sometimes you want to put a little bit of WD-40 or any type of a little bit of lubricant right here. That makes it so the hose will slide under a lot easier. Okay, I get it all the way over, then I'm going to bring it. Now when I get it in here and I know it's right, I use a magic marker and I mark the spot. So if I have to take it in and out, I know how much hose and where the hose has to go. And then there'll be another bracket right here, where it goes in the interlock here. So the lid thinks the lid is all the way down, but it's going to drop down about like that. That's not going to hurt anything. But see, this piece right here would go in here. That's when you drop the lid. But we're just going to drop it like that, and that's all you need to do. Okay, now I'm all the way over. Now we want to go all the way back to the other side, okay, to make sure that we don't have too much hose. There you go. So that looks pretty good. Sometimes, I might take up a little bit. This looks good. So I came out, got my bracket, my other bracket right there. Now this is very important. Open that up. If you don't open it up, you'll starve the printhead. Then you go to the ink tank, and you're only going to open up these little back plugs here so the air can go in. You're not going to touch the back plug, and you only take out the front plug to refill it. You put the little plug in, open the big plug, and you refill it. That's how you do it. And there again, that's in the instructions. Now this XL ink cube system has 30% more ink. Have a lot of ink in there. Okay. Now we can close it. Protects it from dust and light. Okay. In the ink cube, the ink would be, it's good up to 2 years. So you got a lot of ink there. A lot of ink. But when you're doing 13 by 19, you use up a lot of ink. Okay, now I'm going to go plug it in, and we'll turn it on, and it'll go through a couple of the setups. Now, if you see a little bit of air in the hose, pay no attention to it, because the air is going to travel. It's going to go into the cartridge. It's going to rise. And that's what we call an air block. It's actually a good thing. So a little air is really good. Like I said, this printer prints on CDs, DVDs, 13 by 19, 11 by 17, and it's a back feed, which means you can use a heavier cardstock. I rate this printer at a 5-star. That good. Turn it on. Now I left the top open, but you can close it, and then you can watch it go back and forth. That's what I'm doing. I'm watching my hose travel. See if I have enough hose or I have too much hose. This. Because if you ever have to put your cartridges back in, you'll have it. And always follow the instructions that come with the system. The video, sometimes we have to make changes. But in the instructions, we show you everything. How to fill the bottles, how to put the gaskets in, how to take the orange clips off. So you're going to get everything. Which means it accepted the cartridges. There's no problem. Now I'll go set up and I'll do a couple cleanings and print out a nozzle check. Just run 1 or 2 after installing the system just to clear everything out. So this could take up to 2 or 3 minutes. Sometimes I'll do up to 2. No more than 2 though. Should never have to do more than 2. And you can do that through the computer. The toolbox in the on the computer, so now it's going to allow me to print the test pattern after it gets done cleaning. Then I'll know if I have to do another one or not. But you're going to do this from your computer. Just did the deep cleaning. Now I'm going to go and print out a nozzle check pattern. And there again, you're going to do this from your computer. Okay, now let's go take a look. Good. There you go. Okay, now let's take a look. Awesome, everything looks good. I'm not even going to do a second cleaning. Very good. That's how simple it was to install our ink cube system. Now what's going to happen, it just keeps feeding ink to the cartridges. Now when it says one of the cartridges is empty, you're going to open up the lid, take out the stop, it's going to come over, you're going to see it blinking, put the stop back in, it goes back, that ink level's filled right back up on your screen on your computer. And then you can close the top. In, because I wanted to run one to show you just how nice it works. And I'm just printing on, plain paper, standard, nothing super fancy, and it just comes out awesome. Now the ink we use is custom blended to match this printer. I can close the lid. So that's how simple it was to set it up. Now you can print pretty much all you want. That's what I like about the Canon. For a wide format, and if you're into printing on CDs and DVDs, it's awesome. So you go to inkproducts.com for the latest in the XL Ink Cube series. We're making them for just about every printer. Epson, Brother, Canon, HP. What's nice, it protects the ink from light, dust, holds a lot more ink, 30% more ink, simple to install. So go to inkproducts.com.